All right, thank you for staying with us. Now, the work of social workers is crucial to the service to humanity. Maximizing the potential and repositioning social work practice is key for national development and to meet up with emerging challenges that the society is faced with. Chairperson, Nigeria Association of Social Workers, Lagos Chapter, MorayoLamilisa, is in the studio to discuss strengthening social solidarity and global connectedness. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope I got your name correctly.
Yes, you did.
All right. Good to have you.
Same here. Thank you.
Now,
nice to be here.
Right. When we talk about social workers, a lot of persons are wondering, social workers, what's that? Who are these people? What do they mean? So help us understand, first of all, before we delve into the conversation proper, who are social workers? What do they do?
Social workers, thank you very much. Social workers are people in the helping, we call our profession the helping profession.
Right.
We help people overcome challenges of life. And you know, every society has its social problems, which ranges from poverty, maybe homelessness, child abuse, child molestation, child trafficking, family issues, you know, youth problems, youth restiveness, issues that has to do with medical and what have you. And that's why we have different sectors. We have like 7 sectors that deals with different categories of social workers. So we have social welfare officers.
Okay.
Social workers who are social welfare officers. You find them in the ministries, Ministry of Youth and Social Development, both at the state and at the federal level. You find them at Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Then we also have the social work educators, who are those found in the tertiary institutions. We have the medical social workers who belong to AMSWON, the Association of Medical Social Workers, which is under our own association. We have the students, which we call NASWI. We have those working in private organizations and hospitals.
Really?
We have, yes, we have those working in non-governmental organizations and civil society organizations. We have those working as community development officers. We find those ones in all the local government areas of each state. Then we have those, okay, I mentioned the students. So those are the 7 sectors.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
How is it that people do not really hear about these people and what they do?
Well, it's an orientation program. That's why we're going all out from now to start to penetrate from the schools. To have, you know, like we have doctors, everybody knows about doctors. Everybody, maybe because we are not yet legislated, which is what we're working on. But right after our AGM, we're going to delve into the grassroots, make people advocate. We're going to not only advocate, we're going to sensitize people on what social work is all about. So
now, you mentioned something that I want us to talk about. The legislation that has been pushed is being on the front burner for some time now. And I'm wondering, because the essence is to professionalize the social worker. How has this been pushing this bill so the president can assent to it? How is it, you know, hampering the activities of social workers?
It is hampering the activities of social workers because, you know, when we have legal backing, we can do so many things. And it is hampering on our activities because there are so many things we cannot push. We have other bodies that say they are the umbrella professional body, but we, the Nigeria Association of Social Workers, we are the umbrella professional body of all social workers in Nigeria. So it has been hampering us. You know, when people do some things, if you don't have legal backing, how can you fight back? Well, it's been off and on since 2012.
Yes.
In the House, it was at the House of Holes. Now we're very hopeful that we're getting nearer and nearer.
Well, how so?
Well, we're expecting that it passes through the Senate. And, you know, when it passes, then that means that would the president
will assent
to it.
All right,
we are very hopeful.
Because what Nigerians, or what you always hear people say is, keep hope alive. And I hope that as you keep hope alive, what you hope for becomes a reality. Now, let's look at maximizing the potential of social work. What are the potentials of social work in this part of the world that we perhaps can maximize despite not having the legal backing?
We can actually maximize our potentials by empowering the different sectors, like I said. So the different sectors, which is like social welfare, the only way we can maximize is by ensuring that we give our members as much backing as we could in terms of, for example, those working with women affairs and poverty alleviation. Now, you know, they embark on so many programs for people in different categories, like women, widows. We have program for youth in my Ministry of Youth and Social Development. So the way we can maximize is by continuous advocacy for those who have social problems. For the youth, for the unemployed youth now, you know, the government has different programs in different states, because Nassau is in all the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. So this is not just about social workers in Lagos. Okay.
Now, when we talk about potentials, there are also perhaps challenges. Now, aside the legal backing that the association is looking to pursue, what are the challenges a social worker is faced with out there that you can talk to us about?
Thank you. The challenges are enormous.
Right.
You know that for everything we do, the government, I can only talk for Lagos State.
Right.
Because I know that all other states have their peculiar challenges.
Right.
But in Lagos, like the government of Lagos State is really doing well, but we still have challenges. Challenges in reaching, they had to reach terrains, challenges in, you know, getting the actual number of people who have social problems in different sectors. But the NGO sector too has been doing quite a lot in this regard. You know, we have finance, we have issues when we need to advocate, when we need to, educate people on how they need to go about. You know, Nigeria itself has its own peculiar challenges.
Absolutely.
So we have challenges in talking to some people. Some people have fixed mindset before. We need orientation and reorientation.
So you think that perhaps this aspect of tradition, religion, and all of it comes to play?
Yes, it comes to play. It comes to play. Great, you know, like the way a Christian will reason is different from the way a Muslim will reason.
Right.
Not necessarily, you know, like for example, when you talk about the Sharia law, there are some things that, you know, you would count as well almost normal in the South, which is not. For example, you cannot drink when you talk about drinking, the Sharia drinking up north, the Sharia law is there to say you cannot drink, but here you say you have your freedom to do as you please. So religion has a lot to do with it. The tradition has a lot to do with it. Now, so we are the ones that try to strike a balance in the course of our duty, you know, because you need to respect an individual.
Absolutely.
As he is.
Now, there are some values that I'd like for us to talk about when, you know, practicing social work. And one of it is service to humanity, which is one of the major values for social work, especially social workers. How difficult has it been providing services to humanity? That is one aspect. You know, humans, how we react to certain things. Sometimes people are just they are just perhaps aggressive sometimes, doctors.
Yes, you know, that's where empathy comes in. As a social worker, you should be empathetic. You know, when you're empathetic, when you put yourself in the position of the person you're dealing with your client, then you would be able to deal with it. You know, somebody who is a single parent now, and because of the challenges she has, you know, you would not expect her to act or react like somebody who is married. For example, on the road now, you have so many people driving crazily. You don't know what they're going through. That's why you must make excuses for them so that you can understand. You have to perceive things from the point of view of your client.
Putting yourself in the person's shoes.
In the person's shoes.
But what if you have your own challenge that is not allowing you get into the person's shoes?
We all have it. We all have our challenges. But I tell you, when you realize that you want to help, that's why I said it's a helping profession. You want to help. So it's not about you right now. It's about that person. It's about those who need help. So putting yourself, not being judgmental, you know, thinking for them, acting for them, profiling solution to the challenges. Anyhow, no matter how...
So no matter the reaction you get from people, especially when it is negative, you do not get discouraged.
You should not get discouraged.
Should not.
You should not. You know, it's human for you to get discouraged. But since it's service to humanity, you want to help that person solve that challenge. You want to help that person overcome that challenge. So you need to be extra patient. You need to use all your skills, the skills you know. And of course, the God factor cannot be overruled.
Absolutely. Now, another aspect is social justice. The fight against injustice, promoting equality, equal opportunity. And in this part of the world, that is, some would say, a long walk to perhaps freedom. Especially we see that we are in a patriarchal society. All of those elements, how does it come to play when you're pushing for social justice? Well,
you know, we have non-governmental organizations and civil society organizations whose specialty is in this area. So like the girl child who is raped, you know, like those engaged in domestic violence, there are so many NGOs that advocate for them. So, you know, it's not as good as we really want it, but there are so many agencies, and I'm sure you know about that, that are really working assiduously to ensure that there's social justice. There's nothing that goes on the social media that we don't have NGOs and CSOs taking up. So we are trying, and we know that we, by the grace of God, we will do better.
How do you intend to do that?
With government support. We intend to do better. With external support, we intend to do better by the grace of God.
When you talk about external support, what are we looking at?
We are looking at like agencies who partner, who donate, you know, who partner with non-governmental organizations and CSOs. You know, most things need funding. Most things need funding. For you, I mean, you need to engage a lawyer when you talk about social justice, even though the Ministry of Justice, many Ministry of Justice, in many states, we have Ministry of Justice, we have the Ministry of Justice provides legal aid to quite a number of people that cannot afford a lawyer. So, but there are some that you need to engage people to defend them.
So that is why we're looking at strengthening social solidarity and global connectedness. That is one of the aspects also that we're looking at. So when we're talking about strengthening social solidarity, global connectedness, what are we looking at here?
We are looking at the we factor. Acting not just as one person, but for us to come together and surmount challenges. Like the theme for our conference is Ubuntu. I am because we are. That is what it means, and you know, that's strengthening social solidarity and global connectedness. what this is simply, to simplify it, what it's simply talking about is, or being involved in your matter and others that can help you solve it. So it's about I and the we factor. I and the we factor in the sense that, taking my challenge, let us, all those sectors, taking our challenge, taking your challenge as ours.
Right. That's a lot.
Taking your challenge as ours.
Yours.
Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot, because these days we talk about myself. Everybody focuses.
Me, myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. And, moving in this direction, it takes a lot of orientation. Learning, unlearning, and relearning.
Relearning.
So how are we going to, I don't know how you want to achieve this, but talk to us about that. Is it going to be through advocacy? How do you want to reorientate people with regards to the fact that one person's challenge should be seen as a collective issue, not just that person's?
Yeah, that is, the way we intend doing that, which we have been doing, is going through grassroots. You know that orientation starts from the home and the community. Right. So reorienting families, then communities. We have quite a number of NGOs, quite a lot of ministries and agencies that go, whenever they want to do something, they start from the grassroots. So it is changing that orientation. As you said, learning, learning and relearning. It's a lot. It is a lot. So, even in the advanced countries, social work is advancing daily. So it cannot be static. So we evolve with the norms, with the times, with the challenges, with development. We have a long way to go because, we are still developing. So we have to advocate, going to all that matter at the grassroots. Then we have to engage in community engagement. Then sensitization. Sensitization is a continuous thing. You don't sensitize today and stop, because times are evolving. Things, so many challenges. The way you dealt with them 10 years ago is not the way you deal with them today. I mean, considering even 2 years ago there was no COVID. Now we have post-COVID challenges.
Although COVID is still very much with us.
Very, very much so. But we're already talking post-COVID too.
Now, talking about this COVID matter, there were reports asking where are the social workers when, the COVID hit? What happened to them? Why are they not part of the processes of government? And I'm wondering, what can you tell us about that, that period, especially when we had the lockdown and all of it? What happened?
A lot happened. And I make bold to say that our association did a lot. We came together, we gave indigents cash gifts, and even the association gave out palliatives. We had people supporting us, we had individuals, organizations, both corporate and government supporting us. We had them support us. So we really we reached out to indigents, we reached out to people, we reached out to people who are in the grassroots, and even some members too.
So, but you were not involved in the process, especially when government was talking about frontline workers, those in the health sector, because like I said earlier, people were asking questions, where are they? Perhaps they should be seen also as frontline workers, especially those in the health sector and perhaps those who were offering
They were
services.
very much on ground, particularly those in the health sector. You know that for people that had COVID, for example, there were some people that needed to be cancelled. So we have social workers in all hospitals in Nigeria. So they played their own role as well. They were there. They worked assiduously at that time. I have people in Lagos. I have people who contributed their quota across the nation, even NGOs too. All sectors giving their own input.
Right. Now, you spoke about improvements earlier that you're looking to build upon moving forward, especially looking at the changes COVID has brought in. We see what is going on, developments in the other parts of the world. What, in specific terms, are we looking to include in our services that will also make the people feel your impact, and they can talk about, you know, the services that has been rendered by social workers? Because like we pointed out earlier, a lot of people do not seem to understand or know who you people are. Like I said,
It's about orientation.
Beyond orientation.
Beyond orientation, it's about advocacy. It's about letting, right from our churches. You see, you cannot say beyond orientation, because if people do not know, if they don't know that this is what social workers do, then we cannot think of effecting more change. So we need to keep letting them know that they are social workers. Oh, what is your challenge? We have people that do this. If you know, then you can tell your neighbor. If you know, you can tell somebody in the mosque, you can tell somebody in the church, you can tell somebody in your, we have school social work, for example, you can tell your another parent in your child's school or what have you. So, but beyond orientation, we are looking at this, our legislation is really going to make us go to town. It's really going to make us do some programs that we have lined up, which we could not ordinarily have done if we had legal backing.
Programs like what?
For example, assessing external help. We've been doing that, but do you know that if there's legal backing, we would be able to say, oh, we want to do something with this government. Okay. We want to do that with the British government. We've been doing it, but it's not as strong as we would want it to.
Because there is no legal backing.
No legal backing.
Right. Now, for beyond the legal backing, are you also looking at using influencers to drive some of the works that you were doing as well?
Yes.
You're considering it now?
Something we've been doing. Okay. Something we've been doing, even at the national level. So much is being done in terms of influence.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll have to leave this conversation here now. So much is being done by the Association of Social Workers, and I believe that a lot of persons now understand who you people are and what you do, and we can only hope that the legal backing that you need, that as soon as possible is assented to by the government. Thank you so much, Chairperson.
Yeah, I need to leave you with this, please. This week, today is our press conference for annual general meeting and international conference.
Okay.
And tomorrow we'll be starting, we'll commence the international conference.
All right.
And it ends on Thursday with our AGM.
Open to the public?
It's open to only members, not only members, people that have registered for that event. And there will be an award ceremony on Friday.
Okay, we have to leave it here now. Chairperson, Nigeria Association of Social Workers, Lagos Chapter, MorayoLamilisa, thank you for your time on the program.